This video is sponsored by The Baby Cottage.
My name is Wendy Entry, and I'm a marketing manager for a car rental company. And I have this one kid. Funny story. Actually, I was with a friend at a printing shop, and then she was like, "Wendy, your breast is looking very heavy. Are you sure you're not pregnant?" I was like, "Me pregnant? I can never be pregnant." So, I mean, it was in my head, and my period hadn't come, so I was like, "Okay, I'm not sure I'm pregnant, but let me just test. Let me just buy a test kit and see." So I got a test kit, and when I checked, like when I got home, I checked, and it was 2 lines, and I laughed. I was like, "This test kit is expired. Me, I can't be pregnant." So I went to bed. I bought 2 actually, and then I went to bed. I was like, I'll test again the following morning. So when I tested the following morning, and it was still positive, so that's when I found out I was pregnant. So I didn't tell anybody because I was kind of scared, and I didn't know what to tell my partner at that moment. So I think I called his best friend first, and I told him that I was pregnant, but I didn't understand why, because I took the contraceptive pills and I'm pregnant. I just don't get it. It's not making sense to me. And I was crying on the phone actually. I was very upset. So he told me to calm down, and I should talk to my partner about it so that we know the way forward. So that was when I finally called him and I told him. I didn't even tell him. I told him I wanted to tell him something, but then he just asked me, "Are you pregnant?" And I was like, "Yes." Then he was like, "Actually, don't worry, I should be calm," and everything was going to be fine. And that's how it happened. So with me, I wasn't too sure because I felt like I took a contraceptive pill and I'm pregnant. So I felt like, no, something was going to be wrong. Like, I didn't think the baby was going to be okay. So I even told my partner, and I told him that I want to go to the hospital and talk to a doctor, but if there are going to be complications, then I don't want to have a baby. So he told me to go to the hospital, and I went, and then I spoke to a doctor, and the doctor told me to do a blood test to confirm if I'm really pregnant. So I did a blood test, and it was still positive, and he was like, "Okay, I should go in for a scan." So when I went to the scanning center, and they told me the baby was too little, they couldn't see anything, so I should come back the following week or so. So that I went the following week, and when I did the scan again, the baby was there and everything was okay. They were like, the pills I took was not going to affect the baby in any way. So I told my partner, he was like, "We should have the baby." So from the beginning, it's like when I found out I was pregnant, the signs, the symptoms just started coming one, the nausea, the tiredness. So with me, I vomited my whole 9 months. It didn't stop. The doctor told me it would stop at the first trimester, but it was still going on and on. It made me lose so much weight. And there was some point in my life I couldn't even take water, because when I even take water, then I vomited. I was so stressed, and I couldn't eat the foods I used to like, and I was now eating foods I didn't like. So my pregnancy journey was kind of stressful, but it was worth it. That's what I'll say. Funny story. I actually went to the hospital for my antenatal checkup, and so when it was my turn to be checked, the doctor started asking me weird questions like, "Do you have headaches? And I was having headaches, but I thought it was one of those things. So I was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, are your stuffs ready? You know, when you're pregnant, they give you a list to buy some stuff. And I was like, yeah, they're ready. And then she was like, okay, next, take her to the delivery room. And I was like, wait, what? Delivery room? But I didn't think my time was up. I mean, I was fed up, but I was going to say I want to be induced, but yeah, I didn't think it was going to be today. Why? And she was like, oh, my BP is gone up and it's not really safe for the baby, so they would want me to go to the delivery room so that they induce me. No, they said they were going to stabilize my BP first and then they induced me so that I bring the baby out. And I was like, okay, but I was so nervous, so I told her that, okay, I want to go home and pack my stuff because I haven't packed them. And she was like, no, call someone to do that. But I was like, but I live alone. And I was like, no, let's take it to the delivery room. So I was so nervous. So they took me in there and I really suffered. I really suffered because when they took me in there, my BP was so high and they were like, they had to stabilize it first, and that involved a lot of injections. And anyone that knows, you know, that Wendy doesn't like injections, I would cry. I can't take injections. So it was very painful for me. They were just giving me injections upon injections. I went there on a Wednesday, and that Wednesday, the whole time, the only thing they did to me was to inject me. It's like every 2 hours they had to give me an injection. So finally, the following day, the head doctor came in and he told me my BP wasn't still stable, so they are going to induce me so that I bring the baby out. So immediately they induced me. It's like within 5 minutes, they walked back in and they were like, no, they have to prepare me for surgery. And I was like, what? I didn't want to have a surgery because as at that time, I was still in school. I was in my final year. And then I knew having a surgery, I would have to stay home for a while. And my exams too was fast approaching. So I didn't want to have a surgery. I wanted to just have a natural birth so I can go back to school. So I told them, no, I can't have a surgery. Besides, they just induced me. That alone was painful. So you're telling me you want to take me to the surgical room? I will not go. And then they were like, they also can't take me without my permission. They brought a form that I had to sign. It's like I was not going to sign the form. I don't want to have a surgery. I don't want to. I was crying so much. I was like, I don't want to have a C-section. So they had to leave me so that I'll calm down. And they came back. And the doctor explained to me that having a C-section is not so scary as people make it seem. And even with a natural birth, you could have a cut and they would have to sew you up. And if you don't take care of it, it can even result to you dying. So he would advise me to just sign the form. So they take me in for the surgery because my BP was not stabilized. So I still didn't understand. Honestly, I told him I can't sign it. I was so scared. I was like, I do not want to have a C-section. So my partner had to talk to me and tell me that I was the one complaining that I'm tired, and I've carried this baby for 9 months and I have a chance to meet him. So he begs me I should sign the form. And I just signed. So they took me to the surgical room and I remember I was shaking. I was so scared. Like, they had to inject my spinal cord. They said they were going to inject my spinal cord, and then when they inject me, I wouldn't feel my legs. So I had to sit down quietly. So I was shaking because I was scared. And the doctor was like, the way I'm shaking, he can't even do it, because if he does it and he doesn't do it right, he has to do it again. So I should calm down. So I spent like 30 minutes calming down so that they just gave me that injection for me to lie down. But I finally did it and they gave me the injection and I lied down. And I remember him, I think he pinched my legs and he asked me, do you feel anything? I was like, no. And he was like, okay, so we're about to start the procedure. And I was like, sure. So the whole time I was wide awake. I mean, I remember I was so sleepy because I was tired. I was also scared if I close my eyes, I won't come back. So my eyes were open, but the doctor was really nice to me. I mean, from time to time, he would ask me, do I feel this pain here? And I'll be like, yeah, I feel these things like it's normal. It's because of this and that, this and that. So finally, they brought my baby boy out, and then they showed him to me. And they asked me, is he a boy or girl? And I was like, oh, he's a boy. And I'm like, okay. So that was how my delivery went. So with me, I had my baby on Thursday. And I didn't see him on the Thursday. I saw him on a Friday. And when they brought him in, they were like, I should breastfeed him. But I didn't know how to do it. And I was so nervous because I thought when they say breastfeed a child, they just carry the child and put the child to your breast, you just suck. But then I carried the baby, I put him there. He was not sucking, he was just crying. So I was like, hey, what should I do? And the nurse kept saying, hold your breast and put it in his mouth. But it wasn't that easy because he couldn't latch to the breast. So it had to take time. And I remember it got to some point. I left the hospital on a Sunday. So from Friday to Sunday, it got to a point when he sleeps, I was praying that he shouldn't wake up. Not that he should die, but because if he wakes up, this boy will say he wants to breastfeed. That means I can't put the breast in his mouth. I didn't know how to do it, so I was so stressed. So when he sleeps, I'll just pray to God, please let him sleep till Sunday. I'll take him home and maybe I'll give him formula. Because I didn't know what to do. So I think one of the nurses realized that I was really stressed, and she sat me down and she told me that, oh, Wendy, it's like that. You're a new mom, you don't know what to do. But small, you'll get it. So don't pressure yourself so much. Relax. And she showed me how to hold the baby and put him to the breast so that he would suck. But even with that, it wasn't easy. I remember I could only feed him with the breast, with the left side of my breast. I couldn't let him suck from the right side because for some weird reason, I didn't know how to place him there. So he was sucking from the left side and it became like a sore. So I had to force myself to teach myself how to let him suck from the right side. So the Sunday, and we left and we went home. When we got home, it wasn't easy. Having a cesarean is not easy at all because you are in pain, and this baby too doesn't know what pain is. So with him, when he sleeps and he wakes up, he wants food. And sometimes I remember sometimes I'll be in pain, so much pain, I can't even get up from the bed. But this baby will be crying, and I have to force myself up and sit down so I can breastfeed him. So it got to a point I couldn't. Honestly, I felt like I was going to die because I was so, and especially he does that at night, like when everybody is asleep and it's just me and him, and he wants to suck, and he could suck for like 3 hours continuous and he's still sucking, he's not sleeping. So I was like, no, I can't do this. And I told my mom, and she told me we should start giving him the formula milk. So I had to get him Aptamil and prepare for him to eat like that because I realized that if I follow him, I'll die and leave him, but I didn't want to die and leave him. So it wasn't easy. I mean, cesarean is never easy. I don't know about natural birth, but from my experience, I think cesarean is never easy. There was so much pain. One of the things that has surprised me is how I now react to some situations. Because now that I have a baby, I feel like I have to set a good example for my son. Oh. So how I would react to certain situations in the past, now when I see it, I try to control myself and act like an adult. Me too, I'm a young girl. But I try to act like an adult so that I just want to set like a good example for my son. So I try to do things in a manner where like someone doesn't want to see my son and be like, your mother cried, she was like this, your mother cried that. I'm trying my best though. Before even accepting this whole pregnancy thing, like I wish I knew, like at first I was thinking, oh, pregnancy, 9 months, give birth, have a child. It's simple. But then it's not as simple as it sounds. So that's one thing I wish I knew before coming into this journey, because I used to see it as like you're pregnant. Oh, you're pregnant. 9 months. Okay, you're giving birth. Okay, that's the baby. Okay, he's old. I mean, there are stages to it, and it's not quite easy. So that's one of the things I knew from the beginning. There are days that I just get up and I'm not in the mood to do anything. I'm not happy, but my son won't give me that chance, because when he wakes up, he's excited. Immediately he wakes up and you are even asleep, he will start putting his hands in your ears, in your nose, in your eyes. And he wakes up with that energy. So when I see him with that kind of energy, I just gather vim and I get up and do what I have to do for him. And when I'm sad, sometimes I go through things that I can be in the room and I'm sad and maybe I'm crying and he's laughing. I'm crying but he's laughing. So I'll stop crying and I'll start laughing with him. And that's it. Like, seeing him alone brings me so much joy. So I feel like it's helped me to be more hardworking, because at first I used to have this assumption that my dad will take care of me. I mean, I'm still young, I just want to have fun. So after school, maybe I'll do my national service, and I didn't really have a plan in life, like to what to do after school, whether to continue or to start working. But having my son has really helped me, because now I know that I have somebody to take care of and I have to make every means possible to do that. So it's really, I'll say it has helped me to be hardworking, honestly. It's helped me see a vision in my life. Say, I want to be there for my son. I want to be able to provide him with anything he needs. So now I'm very focused in life, working hard. I would say that there are times where maybe there are days there's an event going on, but then looking at the time and having a child, I'm not able to go, and I'm a young mom. My friends are all young too, so sometimes they will be like, oh, Wendy, there's this program and I want us to go, and maybe I'll even promise to be there, but then on the D-Day, I just look at things and I'm like, oh, I can't make it. Because especially my son, I think he knows when I'm going out, especially when I'm going to work, or I have to go to the salon, or there's a program I need to go to. That is when he wants to take my time. He'll cry and cry and cry. He's so attached to me that when I'm even going out, he doesn't want me to go. So it's either I go with him, and I also don't like going out with him, because when I go out with him, he disturbs me a lot. Or if you're seeing this here, something that you disturb me a lot, I don't like taking him out. So the tough times for me is I'm always indoors. Like I always find myself, sometimes I have things to do, but because of him, I'll have to schedule it to another day. And I end up not even doing it sometimes because of him. Having to pee every second. Like, I could literally go to the washroom, pee, come out, and I want to pee again. And it was just disturbing my sleep at night. So it got to a point I was telling my partner, when I was in my 9th month, I was telling him, I'm tired. I want to go in for forced labor. I'm tired. I want the baby out of me. I want to go to the hospital and so that they can just induce me because I don't sleep anymore and all. So that was the most difficult part for me, aside vomiting every second. But that was actually very difficult for me. I enjoy some few things, like when I go out to get food and there's like a long queue, they'll just serve me first. It made me so happy. And then when I'm walking and people see me, they're like, hey, Ata Mami, I'm here for... People were always complimenting me, so that was what I liked about my pregnancy. Yeah, that's... So for the first time, when I saw him, I didn't see him. Okay, that day they showed him to me and they took him to another room to get him dressed up and all. So they sent me back to my ward. But because I was very weak from the surgery, they couldn't bring the baby to me. So they brought him the following day, that was Friday. So when they brought him and I saw him, I actually cried. I was like, so this is so fine. Like, he looks so much like me. My baby actually looks very much like me. He's looked like me since, I don't know. He looks like me so much. So I saw him and he opened his eyes. I was happy. I was really happy. I mean, I was in pain, but for some weird reason, I was not feeling the pain. I was just so happy seeing my baby. Being a young mom, it's never easy. I'm not saying this to discourage young moms coming up, but then I just want to let people know the truth about it, because sometimes there are things you wish you want to accomplish in life before even having kids, and then you find them coming your way, and that is going to push those things back a little. And the stigmatization alone is not easy. Like, people will see you and be like, hey, now where we in school? Are you done with school? Hey, now I'm trying our real pool. Like, people would always have something to say about it, but you have to be brave and strong to go through it, especially when you're a young girl and you are expecting a baby. Because if you are not strong, it can hold you down, it can pull you down. But if you are strong, it's not easy, but it gets better. That's what I would say. It gets better each day. So I just want to tell the youth out there that if they should find themselves in this situation, they should always be strong about it and make the best decisions for themselves, not based on how they are feeling. Or they should make sure that they are like, what they decided to do is what they want to do. They are not going to have any regrets in the future.
Thanks for watching this video. I hope you've liked it. Please don't forget to follow DromoBaby on Instagram and Facebook. And also don't forget to subscribe, comment, like the video on YouTube.
This video was brought to you by The Baby Cottage.